just another work day at the lab. And after working a 14-hour day and bringing home a nanoscopic $122.96, after Uncle Sam gets his cut, it dawned on me that 20 whole years of my life had gone by. Wait a minute, what am I doing? Look at me, throwing away my precious life when I should have been aiming for the stars. Rich people don't trade their time for money. It's time to wake up and do this. One time for your mind.
Hi, I'm your host of International Tate Incorporated. Welcome back to another edition of One Time for Your Mind. Before we get started, I want to give a shout out to Green Diamond Rooster Food Products and Mississippi Bone Rub. This episode is also sponsored by Team Tate Canada. Vision, not division. You can check them out online at www.teamtatecanada.com. Matter of fact, I'm actually sleeping on a pillow right now because I believe that dreams are what is utilized before it becomes real things. This episode I'm going to call Pain. Okay, and pain doesn't necessarily have to be a physical thing, like you're hurting, your body's hurting. Pain can be something that's witnessed. You know what I'm saying? That can cause anguish to you. I really want to call it disappointment, but we're going to use pain for lack of better things right here. Somewhere in your life you're going to experience pain, and I'm a true believer that pain and life is some of the best teachers out there. There's nowhere you can go with school or learning institution and figure out what touching hot fire is until you have to experience fire yourself and got burnt. And then experience the healing process, which can hurt just as well as the actual initial pain. When something happens for a lifetime and you don't correct it, it bothers me. So that's why I want to kind of say pain and disappointment together were probably best suited for this particular episode. There's a definition in the Webster's Dictionary about insanity. And insanity is if you keep doing the same thing over and over again, expecting different results. That's the definition of insanity. And it could be something simple as hitting your head on the desk or swearing out loud or running around in circles. There's a story in the Bible where they literally went around in a circle for 40 years because they believed in the person that they were following so much that nobody ever questioned it. You know what I'm saying? You only get one try at this thing called life. But if you mess your own life up, there's nobody else to blame but yourself. You know what I mean? People are always looking for a reason or a way out to say that this is the reason why this happened and blah, blah, blah. Product of your environment. For some of the ones that are listening to the sound of my voice, you know my background story. If statistics was correct, I wouldn't be talking to you right now. So occasionally you get a Peter Pan story out of a bad situation, and all stories don't end with a happy ending. Sometimes, you know, the enemy or the bad guy wins. There's an alternative telling of the story of the Three Little Pigs and the Big Bad Wolf. Was actually told from the perspective of the bad wolf, and it gave me a different perspective looking at it. Like, wow, this is going somewhere right here. This actually makes more sense than the story that was traditionally told about the three pigs and going from the straw house to the wooden house to the brick house. First of all, it don't make sense, because if I was a wolf and if all three of y'all are in this brick house, if you know anything about ovens, most ovens back in the days were made out of brick. Wouldn't it just make sense to set the roof on fire and smoke the pigs while you was in there? I don't even eat pork, but that's the way I would do things. But they say he was huffing and puffing and blowing. It don't even make any sense, man. That's the stuff that they put out there. Until you dig deeper into it and you realize just by everything you've been told, from the Santa Claus to the Cinderella stories, were just that. It was stories, which is another word for lie. It's one thing to go along with a lie and know the truth behind it. Self-destruction, and I'm using that term loosely, self-destruction is something that people don't take into accountability when they're doing things and, you know, acting before they speak. You understand what I'm saying? If my carpenter's out there, you know this just too well. You measure twice and cut once. You know what I mean? Why is there never enough time to do it right, but always enough time to do it over? Okay, well, remember now, life is something that you don't get a chance to do over, man. This is it. You mess it up, this is it. The story's told for a second, and that's it. If you happen to lose your life trying to impress people who probably don't even like you, you'll be remembered for every bit of a day, a t-shirt, maybe some balloons, and just like that, you're gone. It's on to the next big celebrity or internet fast or the next biggest saying or whatever, what may happen. You know what I'm saying? Because people have no purpose. There are more followers in the world than there are leaders. Unfortunately, I'm not one of them. I actually beat to my own drum. And I'm glad for this particular platform, One Time for Your Mind. Because I get to bring stuff that, you know, the normal person wouldn't see on a regular basis. You know what I mean? They're scared to cover it. If I cover this right here, I might get pulled off the airwaves, or how is my friends gonna like me? But remember now, you came in this world by yourself. Even if you have a twin, you still came individually by yourself in the world, be it maybe test tube, C-section, or traditional birth. You came here by yourself, and so you can only live for yourself. You know what I mean? The mistakes you make. I hear people use the term, "What you eat don't make me, you know, dookie." Okay, and that might be true, but where did that come from? You see what I'm saying? See how they're following again? What do you have that you can leave behind and somebody say, "Hey, I know this for a fact. This is the only person that says this, does this, cooks like this, dresses like this, walk like this." If you have none of these things, then you are a follower. I am not a tennis shoe head at all. I grew up poor. I was under poor, so we didn't have everything we necessarily wanted, but we have everything we needed. We had shoes. It just wasn't name brand, quote unquote. You know what I mean? I was rocking Spartans and, believe it or not, Pumas when they were at Walmart. And now they're at Foot Locker. You know what I'm saying? But it took somebody unpopular to rock these things to make things popular. So sometimes you have to make it do what it do. I don't have enough. I'm probably one of the kings of stretching and surviving. You know what I'm saying? Making things out of nothing, because that's the way I was taught. You come home and you ask your mom what you're eating, and she say something like, "I don't know, a little bit of this and a little bit of that." And then when you get to the table, we used to eat at the table together as one family, because that's another message for you, right? A family that eats together stays together. And you got rice and beans and, you know, some meatball, something that don't even go together supposedly on the surface, but yet you're eating it and you're enjoying it, and it's fixing their particular need of hunger at that very, very moment. And so you look back on it and you don't knock your parents or your caretaker for what they did, because they were only doing using the tools, utilizing the tools that they had available to them at the time. Now let's fast forward to 2020, where we are right now in the 21st century. You got a lot of things that are available at your disposal, and yet you choose not to use it. This has to go back to the definition of insanity, and it's painful to listen to, it's painful to watch, and it's painful to smell on occasion. And when you have all these senses together, it still doesn't make sense. Speaking of sense, now we have a corn shortage, which doesn't make sense. But the one thing we don't have a shortage of is the 2 cents. People feel like I need to put my 2 cents into something. That's your opinion, by the way, for the ones that don't know that, listening around the world. That's something you should keep for yourself. Put your 2 cents in a piggy bank somewhere and let it gather up enough, and then go cash it in eventually and take that dollar and go spend it where it actually matters. But you hear the term, don't spend all your money in one spot. Money can mean time, because where I come from, time is actually money. So if you spend all your time, money in one spot, it has just as well the same catastrophic results if not spending it all. So let me drop some more knowledge for y'all real quick. There's 8 truths of life. Number 1, nobody is real in this world except you. Okay? You have to start with yourself first. And that's the person you often overlook. Just because you don't have a mirror in front of you, a mirror in your house, a mirror in your car, whatever, right? You still got your cell phone. You look at yourself. If you lie to yourself about something, then I think that's a sad truth and a sad demise eventually when it comes down to it. Number 2, a poor person has no friends. I just said that about coming in the world by yourself. If you're poor, you don't have no friends. It's just you. You're the one. You and I. Uni, right? You and I. You're the one. Part of the universe, which means one. Look it up. Number 3, people do not like good thoughts. They only like good looks. So as long as it look good, they're all for it, regardless of what the situation is, how discombobulated it is. Sometimes you gotta discombobulate yourself from something. Like you gotta separate yourself from what you think is somebody gonna like. And I never get up in the morning and say, oh, I hope what I wear today somebody's gonna like it, or what this. I don't care. I do not care. There's no coincidence. The letter I looks like the number 1. Let that sink in for a second. That's one more of those little nuggets I'm passing out to you right there. And take this knowledge that I'm giving you and go spread it out. I don't get anything by somebody taking it and watching this episode and then turning it off. Share this episode with your friends. I'm okay. It's not even a copyright thing. You can take it and teach it in the schools. Speaking of schools, we may not have no public school anymore. Or even schools in the private sector. People are being taught online. But teaching starts at home. Home first, which is the number 1 again. 1. Okay. Number 4, people respect the money, not the person. So if you're popular, you're a celebrity in your own right, you look rich but may not be rich. So a lot of these musicians out here that getting off the airplanes, they have stacks of money. Let's be realistic here. Nobody gets off an airplane. Who's flying with stacks of money with them? For what purpose? That doesn't even make any sense. You're carrying money around. Who uses that? Your credit card and your debit card, and even the credit, which is word of mouth, is more passive than having some dirty, literally some dirty money. It's an image. And people are eating this stuff up like rotten food that you buy from the store. Shout out to yogurt. That's all it is rotten milk, by the way. Somebody took something that was going out and decided to make a cuisine out of it. Now they sell it back to you, add a little taste and flavor to it, and you buy it up. Buttermilk, old milk. I can go on and on. Cheese is old milk. Ranch, blue cheese. All this stuff is rotten stuff already. They're taking it and repackaging it and getting the bottom dollar out of it, which is the bottom line. I can't even be mad at them. It's business. It's business, baby. Business. Number 5, the people you love the most will hurt you the most. Totally agree with that. They'll hurt you the most because they know the most about you. You know what I'm saying? And that's a lot of the times you put people around you on a pedestal, and then they're the ones knock their own pedestal up, and you try to be the good servant and put the bar stool back together. When the reality is, you should leave the bar stool on the floor and let them sit on the floor for a while until they realize and appreciate the seat that they had on the bar stool. So that's how they own the bar stool, they can appreciate it and not kick it over. That's the image I portray. I'm all about teaching, but my method of teaching is different from the traditional aspect. You know what I'm saying? You know, people love different. You know, I'm not the huggy type, hug on you, blah, blah, blah. I'm the type that's going to sit there and walk you through the process. I'm going to hold your hand, walk through the process, but every time you fall, I am not going to hug, kiss you, and tell you it's all right. That's not realistic out here. What type of advantage, what type of image are you portraying to the people who are around you? You know what I'm saying? So whether it be kids or older people or just you yourself. You have to live with that. Back to that one again. Back to that one. Number 6, truth is simple. But the moment you try to explain it, it becomes difficult. So, an example of this will be, it's easier to suggest a new ideal than to oppose one that's already pre-existing, because your mind is already made up. This is the way things is. This is the way I was taught. I don't see it any different. Big Mama taught me this way, or my grandfather, and then that was okay. Then those type of people, you have to let go and let them do their own thing and don't get caught up in the caboose. Sometimes you got to pave your own path. You know what I'm saying? Some of the big bankers of the U.S., the Wells Fargos and stuff, they were literally stagecoach robbers. They robbed back then physically, and now they're robbing you now in modern day with the banks and stuff, with the high interest and stuff. And I can go on and on and on and on and on. But people don't realize that, and now they got suits and stuff on. Same thing with the murderers and the bounty hunters and stuff like that. How does a person who doesn't have any jurisdiction, bounty hunter, and I'm going to use Dog the bounty hunter, he was a felon. This guy was carrying guns, but because he was arresting so many people, a network picked him up and put him on TV. But yet, if you are of an opposite color or race or different nationality, or maybe your lifestyle is a little bit different, and it doesn't agree with the mainstream media, if you're doing something out here, they pull you off the air, take your CDs off, and they want to lock you away like you didn't add to society. That's how they do you. They love you right now, but the moment you make one mistake, you out of here. Back to that one again. That's pain, baby. Number 7, when you are happy, you enjoy the music, but when you're sad, you understand the lyrics. I make music, so I understand that. So I don't just buy music or listen to music because it has a big beat or, you know, a nice catchy hook. I listen to the actual meat of it. What was involved in making the music? What made you make the music? That's why when I actually do music, I actually date the music when I'm writing it, and for what purpose it has. Whatever the name of the song is, has something to do with the actual lyrics in the song, including the hook as well. I just don't throw stuff together. That's a waste of time, and time is something we all don't have. You can't even buy time. You understand what I'm saying? You're clocking in somewhere, you're punching somebody's time clock, and a lot of poor people are actually wearing watches. You see, I don't have no watch, and most of your millionaires and billionaires don't even own a watch, and I doubt there's even a clock in their house. You know why? Because time doesn't matter to them. They want to do something, they get up and they do it. They want to play golf, they get up, they do it. They go to sleep when they want to. They want to eat somewhere, they go do it. If you walk into a big box store and you have to ask how much something costs, then you probably don't need to be in there. The metal detectors that you walk through is designed for when you're walking in and walking out. It's designed for when you're stealing stuff, when you're going out. But when you walk in, it also scans your pockets, and it knows if you have enough money in your bank account to even be in the store. So now you walk into a big box store and you hear the code come code red, or you know, such and such on aisle 9 or something like that. That's coded. This person in the store may be here to steal because I've already scanned their credit card. And this is old technology they were doing in the 90s. And here it is 2020. Now things are starting to catch up. But catch up. But not the ketchup that you put on your fries. Number 8. In life, 2 things define your patience. When you have nothing, and your attitude when you have everything. Being humble. You gotta humble yourself sometime, and a lot of times when you humble yourself, you have to pull away or walk away from things that cause you pain, which is the actual title of this particular episode. I'm not mad at you, I'm disappointed in you, and I'm disappointed more in myself for things I put into you, because I know you know better, but you're not doing better, you're choosing not to do better, and because of that, I'm actually mad at myself, and that's painful, and that's something I have to live with to the day I die. Some things I'm going to take to the graveyard that I'm never going to be able to divulge to people who are not worthy enough to be even talked to. Sometimes I don't even wave at people. I literally just and keep moving, right? You know what I'm saying? You can't even put the words together. You're not even worth an alphabet. So for me to say, hey, you, hey, come here, the letter A itself, you're not even worth that. So forgive me if I walk past you, I'm actually sparing you, you know what I'm saying? That's my gift to you. This has been another episode of One Time for Your Mind. I'm your host, International Tate Incorporated. Season 3, baby. 3 times for the mind, 3 times don't get left behind. I'm out of here.
I hope you've enjoyed this beautiful episode of Season 3.
One time.
One time for your mind.
One time.
Prepare to be enlightened.
One time.
Expand your horizon. One time for your mind. Tantalize your